message from Chimdi. No, another day with her absence. Hey y'all, it's Chimdi. So it's only been a few weeks since I've been off social media, but the experience is teaching me so much. And of course, I want to come back and share it here with you all. Truly, it's been, I think, like 14 days, if that. But it's already having a pretty tremendous impact on my life. So we're gonna unpack that in this video. Before we do, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. It's so strange not having that constant knowledge of what my current subscriber number is, and just seeing you all as the beautiful human beings that you are and just engaging with you all in the comments. It's very, very dope. Also, I am preparing for my November video every day experience, all right? And so as a result, I'm like going back through all the different videos that have been requested of me so I can try to get some of those videos done in this month. If you've requested something from me, feel free to request it again. All right, let's go ahead and get this video started. So the first thing I'm learning from being off social media is how much of my identity is tied to knowing what's happening in social media. Knowing the jokes, knowing the memes, knowing the latest things, knowing like what the public opinion is about a certain topic or event or whatever. Like just being in the know, I realize is something that I really like and I really value. And not being on social media, I find out about things, but I know I'm finding out about a fraction of them. Like I'm finding out just about the stuff that like bubbles to the surface, not about any of those like really cool, fun Twitter jokes. And I'm finding out about it way, way late. Like I didn't know Adele put out her new single like until 4 days after it came out. When Lil Nas X put out that wild video where he was, you know, strip dancing on Satan or whatever, I know about that within like 3 hours of it going out. And I was the one to tell my friends, have y'all seen the new video? And so to have this part of my identity no longer be served is like, I guess it's a small thing, it's not a huge deal, but I didn't realize to what extent I really do like being aware of what's going on. And I like the idea, though I'm truly not that social, but I like the idea that like if I were in a social setting, I would be able to like know the latest reference and like be able to keep up with the conversation of what's going on. But like I said, I haven't actually been in the experience where someone's like, have you heard about so-and-so? And I've been like, no, I don't have Instagram. And they're like, So this is all just made up, you know, but it's definitely that FOMO of just like, what is everyone else talking about? What does everyone else know about? Am I worse off because I don't know what's going on? I know it's all in my head though, so it's not enough for me to actually get back on social media. The next thing that has been really interesting for me has been feeling into my relationships and which ones are in real life relationships and which ones are purely internet social media relationships. I don't think just because a relationship is primarily conducted via social media platforms that it doesn't count as a relationship. I feel like I've like really dope back and forth with like subscribers, with just friends who I've met via the internet, primarily on those networks. And now that there aren't these like regular points of engagement for me responding to their stories or comments and vice versa, that is kind of no longer available. And I do think realistically, like we have our orbit of friends, right? We have the folks who orbit us very closely, and we have the ones who are like Pluto, who are very, very far away, and we only see them now and again. All of these different relationships add a richness to our life. And so part of me is aware of the fact that I'm not fostering these more loose connections. And I think there's been some research around these loose connections actually being incredibly valuable for you. I know for me, like some of the dope creative stuff I've gotten to get has come from folks just DMing me on Instagram about dope opportunities. And so I'm cutting myself off from that way of people contacting me. And I do think that is a legitimate reason to be on social media. I don't know if it's worth all the bad parts that come with it, but I do think I've gotten a lot of good things as well. And so as I'm exploring this fast, I am thinking about whether or not I am, like what I'm losing is worth what I'm gaining in all the other ways. Which is my way of saying like, I miss y'all internet friends, the folks that, there are a few folks that I would truly just be sending little messages back and forth with and just like keeping those relationships alive. And it's not happening on my end. It's my fault, you know, this is my choice and I'm sorry. And I will probably come back, but right now it is pretty great not being on it. So unfortunately the relationship at this point is not worth it, but I love y'all, I care about y'all, and I will probably be back. Another thing I'm learning is how beautiful the element of surprise is when you just find out about something because someone tells you directly versus you being on their social media and seeing it. For instance, my very first coaching client, Lakeisha Jordan, she is an interior designer. She just messaged me saying that she got a paid contract designing gig, and I'm so excited and so happy happy and so proud of her. And I think if I had just been on Instagram, I'm sure she posted it and I would have seen it there. But because I wasn't on there, she actually sent me like an actual physical message via the phone and was able to tell me about it. And that was genuinely such a delight and such a treat. And it was so affirming for me as I think about the ways I am impacting you all and just trying to help and spread the love, you know, that I have in my own heart. It was so cool to get that message, and I felt so honored that she reached out to me in such a personal way, you know, because you have to go a little bit out of your way to communicate in that way instead of just sending like an IG DM or whatever else. It's cool to realize, like, of course we know that the world is going to keep going without us. It's not going to stop just because we're not there to like look at it and comment on it. But it's nice when you just like get these little like tidbits of like the growth and the joy happening in other people's lives, and just get the ones that are extremely relevant to you, you know? I basically never go on Facebook, but whenever I would go on Facebook after truly like 6 or 8 months of being off, I would just be bombarded with all these like major life events from folks who I had no relationship to. So it was always like buying a house, having a baby, moving somewhere, maybe some new gig, something incredibly awesome and cool for someone that I didn't quite know that well. And so I'm happy for you, but I don't have a relationship with you. So it's kind of strange. And then of course you get that thing of comparing your life to them and comparing your milestones to theirs. So it's nice to have so much of that noise just eliminated, and you're really just getting the updates from the folks that you do have a relationship with and who genuinely care about, and not just like every single person in the world because I don't really need to know about what every single person that I've ever met is doing. And I'm okay with that. Like I've made peace with that. The next thing that I have learned in this truly couple of weeks has been the power of atomic habits. That book is all about how these small 1% changes in your life can have huge impacts later on. Just the time that I have now, because I'm not spending hours truly every day on social media, has completely shot out into the rest of my life. I think I had gone like a couple of weeks without exercising before I quit social media, and surprisingly my energy wasn't that great, my mood wasn't that great, and literally the day I decided to go social media, like that night I did a yoga class just on the app that I've had this whole time, and I like got back into exercising. I started doing Zumba classes, and I'm just like this person who's like fit and energized and walking around. My creativity is way up. I'm batch recording again. Y'all, I love doing a live, but often I do lives because I didn't have my act together enough to create a video and edit it and do all this stuff. Now I have no excuse and there's nothing else to do. And so I actually have the time again to pour into my creativity and create quality videos that I know that I'm capable of, you know? That has been a huge difference. I already thought I had a pretty chill life, you know, lots of staring at clouds and reading books, but now there's even more of like a spaciousness and openness to that time that I'm spending doing those things, you know? Like there's no rush, there's nothing else that I have to do. And there's also this feeling of course I want to share what I'm doing with people and kind of bring people into my life, but there's a real intimacy in having these moments be for me and just for me and for the few friends that I tell about them. And that's been really nice, and it makes life seem much more simple and easy and doable and just less overwhelming, you know? I wouldn't have guessed that just going off social media would have those kinds of impacts. So that's a huge one. These small little shifts in your life can really have very dramatic changes. I think that's the reason why I'm the most hesitant to ever return, really, is because I don't want, in the same way, social media to come back into my life and slowly just start eroding these really beautiful things in it, you know? And the final thing I'll reflect on is the way my ego is thinking about me being off social media, and the way the voice in my head is saying like,
they miss you so much.
You know, they miss all your funny little jokes and all your cute little posts and all your great captions and all your great insights. They are missing you. They are struggling without you. They don't maybe know why it's not as fun on the internet anymore, but a part of them is like, yeah, Chimdi isn't showing up the way she used to, and we miss that. And I just think it's very interesting that I think we all understand that no one really cares. Like, people will just go on with their business. I know when someone doesn't go a while without posting, unless I really care about them, I don't notice. It makes no difference in my life. So it's just very funny to me how there's a part of me that really thinks folks are just like frantically updating Instagram, like, is there any message from Chimdi? No, another day with her absence? I'm sure they're fine. I'm sure they're doing just fine. I have friends that I would primarily like watch their stories to know generally what was going on in their life without having a direct conversation with them. And I do feel more of a pressure to just like reach out and be like, hey, are you good? I do care about you. I do love you. I'm not one for constant communication, but I do hope you're okay, and that's on me. And I think generally I'm a very like laid back kind of friend where I'm like, you come to me if you want to be my friend, otherwise I will sit inside alone and stare at a cloud. But I'm realizing like, yeah, I actually have to be a little bit more proactive when it comes to the friendships that I want to maintain, because, you know, folks probably aren't sitting there missing me, and I'm sitting here actually missing them. So that's on me. But overall, I'm really enjoying this time off social media. It feels like a vacation. It feels super chill. As someone who creates YouTube videos, it feels really nice to not have another platform that I feel like compelled, like I feel like I have to update versus I want to update. And it's nice just feeling like I'm just alive versus, I don't know. Of course, we're a part of this global community, etc. But sometimes when you're on social media, it feels like all of everyone's stuff becomes your stuff. So even if you don't have an opinion about whatever thing is happening, you have to have an opinion on it, or it's just a lot. And so it just feels like you just kind of eliminate so many voices all at once by not being on social media. And you just realize how it doesn't actually really change your life from day to day. Because the whole time you were just living your life day to day, you just thought it was different because you were seeing other people's opinions and all these different news things. I mean, it's weird not knowing when things happen right when they happen, but my life isn't different because I found out that Colin Powell died like 4 days after it happened instead of the moment it happened. What was I gonna do about that? It's not my business. It's not my business. Oh, I haven't finished reading Loving What Is. I just stopped reading Loving What Is because I've been reading Untethered Soul. One of the major things it talks about is minding your business. Byron Katie says there's 3 types of business. There's your business, there's someone else's business, and there's God's business. And you really just need to mind your business. And so whenever you found yourself kind of being anxious, saying, oh, this person should do that, and this system should be set up differently, it's like, is that your business? Chances are, it's not. And so to be reminded of how much stuff truly is not my business and I don't need to be aware of it because it doesn't concern me, it's wonderful. It's very freeing. So if you haven't done a social media fast in a bit, highly recommend it. Let me know in the comments what memes I'm missing because I do miss the memes. There are some dope jokes. I used to be on Twitter a lot. There's so many funny jokes that I know that I'm missing on Twitter. So if you want to just send me some of the latest hot ones, just let me know. I would love that. Otherwise, I will continue to be a Luddite. Is that the word for the folks who don't like technology? I'll continue to be one of those people, obviously on every platform except for YouTube. Love y'all. Thanks for watching. I hope you like this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video if you liked it. Bye!